What's going on, football fans? It's time once again for another rendition of the Pound for Pound. I'm your host, J.R. Clark, and today we're going to be talking about the game tonight, Thursday Night Football, against our dreaded rivals, the New Orleans Saints. Unfortunately, this year, folks, the Saints are a good team. They haven't been a good team in the past few years. Well, they finally got it together with that two-headed monster of Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram. That's a duo right there. That's a duo that makes them very potent. Even potent offense, even more so. I mean, if y'all remember on their Super Bowl run, that was kind of the recipe. Played decent defense and ran the ball. I mean, that is a recipe for success. That is a formula that travels whether you're at home or whether you're away. And that's something that the Falcons tonight are going to have to contend with. The key to this game is to, try to make them one-dimensional, which is what you want to try to do in every game, whether that one dimension be running or whether that one dimension be passing. If your defense can dictate what their offense does, you tend to have a easier chance winning the game. Now, last week against the Vikings, our defense played real well, but our offense couldn't get in the groove. So let's hope that was just a hiccup and not necessarily what we're going to see going forward. Because every goal we have is still in front of us. I mean, our last 4 games are all in division. We got 2 against the Saints, 1 against the Bucks, and 1 against the Panthers. Right now, we have 1 division loss against the Panthers. If we can, somehow win out or win the vast majority of these last 4 games, have a good chance of winning the division. And, that's the easiest road to the playoffs. If not the division, then, we're still in the wild card hunt. So this game, obviously going forward, it's really like the playoffs start now. So we really got to be, on our P's and Q's. We've dug ourselves enough of a hole that we got to play good going forward. And tonight it starts with, bottling up, Kamara and Ingram. At least, trying to do our best to contain them. Kind of like other defenses, don't let Julio Jones beat them. He may get his, but they don't let him go off like Tampa did. We got to not let Kamara and Ingram beat us. So that, to me, that's key number 1 is to, try to do our best to bottle them up. And we're going to have to tackle in space. That's where the speedy, Deion Jones and Devondre Campbell and Duke Riley, that's why we drafted these guys. Is to be able to run and hit and tackle in space. That's why you drafted a Keanu O'Neal. We need these guys to start putting the consistent effort forward, on the field week in and week out. That's the biggest thing I've seen this season from our team is a lack of consistency. You'll go a game where the defense will give up 30 and then shut them down in the next game and only give up 7. Or the defense or the offense will put up 30 points and then put up 9. So consistency is what we're really looking for. At this point in time, the way I feel is if we do make it into the playoffs, we're probably not going to stay long. And the team can change my opinion in these next 4 games. So don't sit here and think that that's a hard, fast opinion that I have. I'm just basing it off of what I see on the field, okay? And what I see right now is a team that lacks the consistency needed to make a strong Super Bowl push. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, a couple years ago, you had Denver go to the Super Bowl, get embarrassed, miss it the following year, and then go back and win it. I mean, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen to us, but, not making it to the Super Bowl is not the end of the world this year. Our window is closing, so keep that in mind. You don't have too much longer of Ryan in his prime, Julio in his prime, so, we need to get that consistency moving forward. So that's really what I'm looking for in tonight's game is is to get back to that offensive consistency that we had from the Jets game until the Vikings game. The Vikings game was the first time it kind of like tailed off, you know. And you can point the finger at whoever you want to point to. I pointed at the entire offense. You know, whether it's Matt Ryan not having a great game or dropping some passes, but more than anything else, it was the penalties, really, that is a momentum killer. When you're at 3rd and 15, 3rd and 12, 3rd and long is not where you want to be. You have to be on schedule in your downs. You know, you have to play, you know, you want your 3rd manageables. That's why we were, in the past 3-game stretch, that's why we were top at 3rd down conversions, because we were keeping it 3rd and manageable. Much easier to convert a 3rd and 3 than a 3rd and 13. I mean, you all know this. They know this. But it's something that should be pointed out anyway. So, tonight's game, I truly feel like, it's a rivalry. You can throw records out the window. You can throw performances out the window. The Falcons-Saints game is always a weird game. It tends to be a shootout, and it tends to come down to whoever's got the ball last, and I really don't see that changing. So, especially with it this time around with it being in our building. Now I want to address something that I've been seeing pop up on Twitter. People talking about wanting to get on Dan Quinn's case, talking about he wants the fans to be louder. Of course he wants the fans to be louder. I'm not 100% sure why fans are upset about that. I've seen the whole thing, well, you priced your fans out of the stadium. That may be the case. Hell, I can only afford to go to 1 game a year, if that. But if you're going to the game, if you're there, you know, be as loud as you can be. Getting you seats. But you're dealing with Atlanta traffic, so I understand that too. So, with that being said, I wouldn't look too much into it. He was trying to talk down to the fans or say that we're not passionate. Somebody asked him the question, said he had $1 billion stadium, would love to have $1 billion party. He made similar statements last year during our Super Bowl run, and I don't seem to recall anybody griping then. I mean, winning is the healing salve for all wounds that are inflicted on fans by football teams. If you're losing, that pain, that wound is much more open and much more sore. If you're winning, you don't notice that, you know, that wound at all, you know. So all I'm trying to say is, if you hear a coach say some stuff like that, it's just coach speak, man. Don't get too up in your feelings about that. And if you do get up in your feelings, I mean, it's your life, not mine. Well, that's what I got for you. Sorry it's a little late. Been hectic with the family and the baby and everything else. But as always, Falcons fans, we very much appreciate your support, your views, your likes, your shares, your comments. That really lets us know that, you know, we're doing a good job and, you know, you're enjoying what we put forth. So I ask that you just continue to like, share, and comment. And follow if you hadn't followed us. Subscribe if you hadn't subscribed. You can find me on Twitter at Falcon Eye View. I tend not to tweet a bunch, but Toby D, he tweets a lot more than I do, so he's probably a better follow. But so if you hadn't followed him, look him up. If you hadn't followed me, look me up. I retweet things from time to time. But as always, Falcons fans, rise up and let's beat them Saints, yo.